Good morning. Hi. This is story time for Growin Beans with Miss Allison. That's me. And I'm at the Pinson Public Library. Thank you so much for watching today. And I'm glad to have you here with me like this. Today we are going to talk about bats. So you might see some bat decorations around and different bat things because we're getting close to Halloween. So that's one of the reasons why I want to talk about bats today. But have you ever actually seen a bat? Like the actual animal? Have you seen one before? Maybe at the zoo or on a special trip. Sometimes at night you can see them. Have you seen a bat before? So bats, most of the ones that live around here, their bodies are about the size of like a small mouse, and then they have big wings, right, to help them fly. There are actually a lot of bats who almost every night they fly to and from between Ruffner Mountain and Turkey Creek Nature Preserve right here in Pinson. And they're actually doing that back and forth. It's a pretty long way, but they fly all of that back and forth in the night because they're hunting and catching bugs to eat. Bugs. So sometimes you might be able to see some bats at night. And there are special bat tours that you can go on, which are pretty fun too. So we are talking about bats today, and we are going to read a book together, and we're also going to do an activity together. Are you ready to get started? I'm ready to get started. All right, so our book is Morris, the Downside Up Bat, and it was written and illustrated by H.R. Carps. It's a tiny book today. When Morris was a little bat, a big owl flew into the barn where he was hanging by his toes, because that's how bats hang. Morris was so scared that he turned himself downside up, hoping to fool the owl into thinking that he was not a bat. And the owl flew out. So bats usually hang upside down with their heads dangling, and they grab onto things with their feet. But Morris went the other way and held on with his little hands and wings. See how that goes. After hanging that way for a little while, Morris began to enjoy himself. For one thing, he could hear a little clearer and see a little farther, and he could catch the little flying snacks that were trying to avoid his upside down relatives. So he actually likes hanging downside up. It's not that bad. However, Morris's hanging style wasn't approved by the other bats. What difference does it matter which way I sleep? Morris asked. He asked his friend Fred, his best friend. Tradition, answered Fred. Bats hang upside down. So there's Fred, who's hanging upside down, and there's Morris, who's hanging downside up. The other bats don't like change. Morris shrugged. Life isn't perfect, he thought, and flew off to do something he enjoyed, which was watching television shows. Morris realized he liked TV while hanging downside up outside windows. He liked music programs the best. So there he is, looking in the window, watching TV. What would you do if you looked out your window and there was a bat watching TV with you? I think that would be pretty cool. Who knew bats like to watch TV? I didn't. Morris's favorite performers were the singers. Sometimes he listened to them all night long. When Morris began imitating, that means he's acting like them, some of the performers, he discovered he could sing too. He made himself a little guitar to strum. Can you strum a guitar? And he also made a wig like some of their funny hairstyles. So it turns out Morris is very talented. He can sing, he can play the guitar, he can make wigs, he can make guitars, all kinds of cool stuff. Morris liked wearing wigs and hats. In fact, he liked dressing up in all different kinds of costumes. Morris did have one costume that caused a little bit of trouble. He had found an old owl mask left from Halloween and flew around the barn screeching, "Hoot, hoot, hoot." That did not go over well with the rest of the bats, but it was kind of fun too. So he's playing a trick on the other bats. He's put on a mask and he looks like an owl, and I guess the bats are afraid of owls, so they're kind of scared, but it turns out it's just Morris in a mask. Every year, Morris's relatives held a big meeting. They talked about bat things like winter housing, enemy owl protection, scary pranks for Halloween. But this year, the meeting added something special. Aerobatics and other entertainment. Prize for best. Sign up. Morris was really excited. Maybe this was his big chance to perform as Morris the Magnificent Singer. So they're going to have a talent show. That's exciting. And we said Morris is talented, right? But when he went to place his entry in the ballot box, there were 3 bullies blocking his way. "You're not a real bat," they taunted. "You can't even hang right. How can you act?" And every time he went to the box, the bullies were there making fun of him. That's not very nice. They should be kind, right, and not be mean. Morris was worried. He wanted more than anything to enter the contest and perform in front of a real audience. One stormy night, while the bullies sat guarding the talent box, a big owl flew straight toward them. They screamed and they flew away. And then Morris dropped his entry into the box. Was it really an owl? Look closely. It's Morris. It's Morris wearing the owl mask. So he tricked those bullies so they would go away and that he could enter the contest. Finally, the big night arrived. Morris was dressed and ready. His friend Fred went in early to get good seats. But sure enough, those bullies were standing at the door when Morris arrived. "Hey, here's Morris," one of the bullies said. "He thinks he can act." "You're not a real bat," the others taunted, and they blocked him from entering. Don't they have anything else better to do? They should be inside enjoying the show, right? Not being mean to Morris. Boo. It was 3 against 1, so Morris left. Inside the barn, the meeting had begun. First came the business, then came the entertaining. Flying tricks and scary faces. Ooh, they are making scary faces, aren't they? Can you make a scary face? Show your teeth. Scary face. Fred started to panic. Oh no, where's Morris, he thought. He looked over his shoulder, he looked around the room, he looked down near the stage, and then he looked up. And so did everyone else. There's something on top near the ceiling. Do you see it up there? What do you think that is? Or who do you think it is? At the open window where a strange creature hung on the narrow ledge, that's where they looked. And a shiny gold guitar dangled from its neck. Suddenly it let go and swooped down onto the stage. Who is it? It's Morris, right? And he's in his costume and he's got his guitar. He made his way to the stage. And it was Morris in a fancy costume, and he began to perform. The bats stared. They scratched their heads. Huh? Then they sat up, they leaned forward, And finally they cheered, hooray! And they shouted with such wing flapping that the head bat had to yell. There they are enjoying it. Everybody's getting so excited that the big head bat had to say, quiet! And then the big head bat crowned Morris the winner. From then on, Morris, the magnificent singer, performed around the countryside. That's a really nice crown on Morris's head. So, performed around the countryside, and he gave downside up hanging lessons to all of the admiring bats, including the bullies. The end. All right, so what did Morris learn how to do first? When Morris saw the owl and was afraid, instead of hanging upside down, he was hanging downside up, right? And he found out he liked that. Where did Morris go at night? He looked in the window, and what was he doing when he looked through the window? He was watching TV. And turns out Morris is really talented, right? And there was this big talent show, and who did not want Morris to be in the talent show? Who was mean? The bullies. The bullies were mean, right? They didn't want Morris in the talent show. They tried to stop him from going in. But what did Morris do instead? He did it anyway, right? He snuck in through the roof, and he was able to do his song and sing for everybody. And did all of the other bats like it? They did. They liked it a whole lot. And then Morris was crowned. He was the best performer. Yay, Morris. All right, next we are going to do an activity together. So I have 4 spooky hats here. You might even call them magic hats. And in one of these hats, there is a bat. So can you help me figure out which hat has a bat inside? Awesome. So let's see. Let's look at our hats first. So this one is what color? It's orange, and it has some purple. What color is this one? It's green. It actually has 2 different types of green. What color is this one? It's purple. It has a little bit of pink on it too. And what about this one? It's brown, and it has a little bit of what? Orange. So which hat do you think the bat is hiding in? Orange. Let's try the orange hat. Bat, are you in there? Oh, bat's not hiding in that hat. Which one should we try next? How about the other brown, the brown one? Do you want to try that one? Let's see. Bat, are you hiding in there? Oh, no bat. We have 2 hats left. Which one do you want to try next? Purple? Do you want to try the purple and pink one? Let's see. Oh, not there either. Bat, you are not hiding in that hat. So that leaves what color? Green, right? Do you think Bat is hiding in that green hat? Let's find out. There's Bat. Bat, you were hiding in the green hat. So we'll put the hat on top of the bat. The hat's a little bit big for Bat, right? Good job. Thank you so much for helping me. Let's bring all of our hats back. We have our green one, and that's 1. We have the purple one, that makes 2. We have the brown one, that makes 3. And orange is 4. Good job. Thank you so much for your help. So that's everything that I have for you today. At the end of this video, there's a link to our website. You can go there and find all kinds of cool activities and songs and cool and neat things to do at home together. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope that you are okay, and I hope I get to see you soon. And take care, and I miss you, and I'll see you again next week. Goodbye, everybody.